You open an app for the first time and it's a bit slow. Then you close it and then you open it again and suddenly it's fast. Now you're going to begin to ask yourself certain questions that what actually happened, because I'm using the same phone, the same internet, the same application. So what actually changed? That right there is caching. Now before I give you the actual definition for caching, I've been doing a lot of cooking these days, so I would like to use a cooking analogy to explain what caching really is. So say we are to prepare rice featuring contemporary stew or whatever stew, or let's just stick to um, preparing rice, right? For those who don't know how to prepare rice, there's a masterclass for you. Yeah, so you're going to go through a few steps from washing the pots to washing the rice to boiling the water to pouring the rice in the water to waiting for it to get ready. Now, imagine you've already cooked the rice and then stored it, and someone comes to ask for food. Now it becomes easier for you to serve that person because all you have to do is to take the food from the storage, reheat it, and then serve that person. That difference right there is what we call caching. So that stored food, your stored food is your cache. So software engineering, we say caching is a process of storing frequently used data so the system can return it faster instead of recomputing or fetching that data again. I'm going to show you how it actually works, right? So a user sends a request without caching and with caching. We're going to look at the difference. So without caching, a user sends a request, the server processes it, the server queries the database, and the database returns the data, and the server sends the response. Now, this takes time, especially if the database is large, right? What happens if we introduce caching? Now, the user sends a request, the system checks the cache. If the data exists in the cache, now data is returned instantly. If not, it fetches from the database and then store that data in the cache. So the second request becomes much faster. And it's very important that as developers or software engineers, we have this at the back of our minds. Anytime you're building an application for a client, you need to introduce what we call caching to make things easier and then faster. Now, there are types of caching, right? And I'm going to walk you through some of the types. Now, we have what we call a browser cache. That's your browser stores images, scripts, and then styles, and that is why a website loads faster the second time. We have server-side cache. The backend stores frequently requested data. We also have the CDN cache. CDN actually stands for Content Delivery Network. So we have the CDN cache where content is stored closer to the users globally, right? So a user in Ghana shouldn't fetch images from the US every time, right? We also have in-memory cache. That's data is stored in RAM for ultra-fast access. This is the fastest form of caching, right? We also have a very important concept I need to introduce to you. We have what we call a cache hit and a cache miss. Now I'm going to tell you the difference. A cache hit is when data is found in a cache, and a cache miss is when data is not found in a cache. So your goal as an engineer is to always increase the cache hits, right? Now, I don't want to hide this from you, right? There are some challenges with caching that I need to inform you about. We have what we call cache invalidation. All data in cache becomes wrong when data changes. We have still data, user sees outdated information, and we have memory limit. That's cache cannot store everything. So let's take Instagram for an example. If every time you open it, it fetches every single data from the database, it's going to be slow and it's going to be very expensive. So that is why Instagram cache feeds, they cache the user data and they cache images as well. So this is the final takeaway for you. Caching is not about speed alone. It's about avoiding unnecessary work. Smart systems don't repeat work, they remember it. So this is all about caching. Thank you all for watching. Very soon we are actually going to build a role project and we're going to integrate all what we've learned so far. Right. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.